All right, welcome to Behind the Plate, the video series of the Southeastern BBQ Showdown. I'm your host, Mark Conway, and we are rapidly approaching being at, Segra Park. And we're talking about a barbecue event, but this is different because we're going to actually be inside a baseball stadium right in the middle of downtown South Carolina called Segra Park, which is a home of the Fireflies. They have hosted players like Tim Tebow making his debut at that brand new park when it was just unbelievable to see baseball in an area like that in a ballpark that is just state of the art. It literally looks like a miniature version of a mega major league park. Well, that's where we're going to hold the Southeastern BBQ Showdown. We're going to have 20 teams from all over the world because guess what? We even have a team from Japan coming to compete because they want to see how they stack up against some of our country's best barbecue teams. It's going to be sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance and Fred Robles, and it's going to have a unbelievable legendary concert performance by the band Alabama. So what more can you ask for? Barbecue, live music, celebrities, global influence, baseball park, and there will be so much more. But one of the big components we're all very excited about is the people we're going to see there. Not just you, because we're very excited about seeing you, but we're going to have some celebrities with us and people who know barbecue inside and out. And we're using this video series as an opportunity to introduce you to some of those people. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Scott Gregory Thomas to the show. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Now, you go by an alter ego, the Grillin' Fools. Where did that come from?
The third definition of fool in like Webster's dictionary is somebody with a fond propensity for something, dancing fool, singing fool, grilling fool.
I
So
like it.
that's what it came from. It was, it really is just a silly hobby that morphed into something way bigger than I ever expected it to be. And I'm blessed and grateful for that. Um, but yeah, it just started as a silly blog, and to write off meat and charcoal and an occasional grill, and now it's a business, and now I have employees, and I never, yeah, it's crazy. So
I mean, now it's a kitchen being built in your backyard.
as we speak, there's an outdoor kitchen being installed right now on my deck right now. Yeah.
So, two things. First of all, why barbecue? What does barbecue mean to you? Because you've made this amazing hobby into a full fledged career and it's all around barbecue. So, why barbecue?
So I think it's just this, it's the social nature, right? Like, you fire meat, people just congregate to that grill and say, "Hey, what do you got? What are you cooking here? And why are you doing that? Why are you using this seasoning? Why are you using that sauce? Why is this off to the side over here?" It's just a way for people to, it was the original social hangout. We're going back for as long as fire's been invented. People have been hanging around the grill, and I kind of started doing it, and I made a lot of mistakes, and so I started thinking that maybe everything what people were telling me how to grill may not be, maybe more tradition than good food science, so to speak. So I started challenging some things, and looking at like, how do we do this differently, how to do it better, and that's kind of how the website started. I was sharing that with some buddies on a fantasy football website, and in the off season we would talk barbecue, and then I started the website grillandfool.com, and then it kind of blew up, and so I brought in my dad and my cousin to make a grillandfools.com. And all we do, our whole thing is step by step, picture by picture, foolproof grilling instructions. And like, my greatest thrill is when somebody goes, "Hey, I only grilled burgers and brats, and I tried X from your website, whatever that is, and it was great. And now I'm going to do Y this weekend." Like, that's it. Like, I just want people to like try different stuff, and hopefully not make the same stupid mistakes I made. Cause I screwed everything up for like 20 years. I overcooked, undercooked, burnt to a crisp, everything. and kind of learn from there. Just trial and error, which is fun. Trial and error is great when you're having a beverage and sitting around the fire and sampling some roasted meats. It's great.
And then it becomes less trial and error, becomes more tasty delights.
Right, right. There's things that I cook now that like I don't even sample it. I'll be like, I know this is nails. I mean, I know I nailed it, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, back in the day, it was like, oh shit, I effed that one up again. Damn it.
I mean, and that's one of the things about, we talk about the culinary world, and you've got chefs and you have bakers and then you have barbecue guys, whether it's pit masters or they just go by barbecue guys, whatever it is that they want to go by. It's all very, very different. With bakers, it is a minute detail exact science. It is a
Science,
chemical
it's
reaction.
chemistry.
That's what it is. With chefs and cooking, it's a lot of just creativity. It's a lot of pizzazz. It's a lot of existential, what does this food mean to me kind of thing. But then there's barbecue. Those other two, they're measuring, pastry arts and bakers are measuring to scale. They're measuring weight, they're measuring ounces, they're measuring and where chefs come, it's a lot of tasting. That's how they measure. Do I have enough salt? Let me find out. Do I have enough fat? Let me find out. But with barbecue guys, it's almost like a spidey sense. You've done it so many times, the temp, the length of the cook, and it really just kind of comes out that way each and every time. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's part how barbecue came about. It was we're taking the lesser cuts that the rich won't eat. Right, the
Mm-hmm.
rich ate high on the hog, and that's everything on the top of the animal is along the back and things like that is the most tender cuts, and they don't need a lot of work. Salt, pepper, garlic, man, done. Heat, done. So now we're gonna take this brisket that works all the time every time the cow moves. It's the breast muscle, so it really is tough, and you've got to slow cook it for hours to make it tender, but also keep it juicy. And so it that's kind of the same thing with baking, is that you create this, it's chemistry, right? You put
Mm-hmm.
these ingredients together, and then you put an outside energy source, in this case heat, and it comes out something great. But you don't know, like, you can't check your cake halfway through the cooking process and go, let me see how that tastes. Again, you can't do that with the brisket either. You can't just like, I'm gonna cut a chunk of this off. You got to wait and find out. So it is trial and error, man. You got to do it over and over and over again. And now, like, I remember that, like, the first time I cooked brisket, I cooked it like 4 to 5 weeks for my family, and like extended family, and to try to just nail it, knock it, and perfect it. And by the end of that, they were like, enough with the brisket already. I'm sick of brisket. Can you cook anything else? And I'm like, it's freaking brisket. And they're like, but I was obsessed. I'm like, I gotta, get this down to a science. And maybe and you can't cook like a 16-ounce brisket.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 6 pounds, 8 pounds, whatever, and then you got to feed a whole crowd with that. And so we invite everybody over every weekend, and yeah, it gets to be too much. But that's kind of, I get kind of I'm focused on something. I'm like, all right, I'm going to nail this, and it's going to take a while, but I'll get it down. And then you know um and I think that's a lot of people are like that. They're like, these competition guys, they've nailed it, but they're still going to test it. They're still going to
Mm-hmm.
run through trial runs multiple times during the week before they go for a big competition. And
Oh yeah, they are.
try the new rubs, try the new seasonings, try the new new technique, a different smoke wood, different charcoal, whatever it is. They're changing the thing up to try to get that edge.
And you mentioned brisket, but what is your go-to? Like, if you are, I need to knock somebody's socks off. I'm trying to impress this person. What is your go-to protein when you're smoking?
Um, so I would, if I'm trying to impress somebody, I'm probably going to the steaks, and I'm probably gonna, I might reverse sear a prime rib or something like that, or a beef tenderloin, and then carve that off, and maybe do. I am gonna maybe have some crazy appetizers, some sides. Gonna have some stuff going on. I might make a crostini or a grilled salad, grilled lettuce, or something like that. I mean, and I was doing that before Gordon Ramsay was making fun of it, and then of course serving it and not acknowledging the fact that he shredded some people on that one and then was serving it. But anyway, like that's what I'll do is I'll make the entire meal, out on the grill and have have a couple grills going and kind of not necessarily just do one main thing, but kind of go, all right, we're gonna, that's what I love to do. I like to kind of like, here's first course, and now we're gonna go to this course, and now we're gonna go to this course, and I used to do this every year for the opening of the football season. I'd have all my buddies over, I'd buy all the ingredients, and I would divide up the price, and I was like, all right, bring me $45 and whatever beer you want to drink, and I'm just gonna cook. And my buddies were like, yes, whatever, and I would just do 6 or 7 courses and just, here we go, we're going to do this, we're going to have this stuff going, and we'll just, when it's done, we're going to pull it off the grill and we're going to eat. As the stuff gets done throughout the day, I try to time it so it kind of spaces it out so we're not hitting them too much. But that's sort of my that's what I would like to do, is just hit them with a bunch of different things, like yeah, you did this all in the same grill. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's the essence of barbecue is a lot of different items done with other people in mind, with groups in mind, with getting together in mind. That's kind of what a lot of people look at as barbecue. That's why barbecue is kind of defined so many different ways. A lot of people are just like, oh, that's my barbecue grill out back. I make hot dogs and burgers and steak on it. And then you have barbecue like you go to a big international barbecue competition. So it's this one three letters that get used all over the place, but they're
Right.
powerful, impactful letters. You talk about barbecue, and that invokes tons of emotion, tons of feeling in pretty much everybody you talk to. So when you're in your process of developing these barbecue recipes, and you look at that low and slow, and you've got your temps, what is do you have a set of defining factors to say, okay, I know my baseline is I'm going to start off with this temp and this time, and I'm going to tweak, or is it more tweaking the preparation of the protein before it grows on the smoker?
So yeah, I don't want to mess with it once it's on there. Although I will say this, I've been doing a lot more reseasoning, later on, a little
Mm-hmm.
dusting of seasoning, whether like with pulled pork, when that comes off the grill and you let it rest for an hour or two, whatever, and you actually shred it, add some more of that rub into the meat, and that it'll change your life. And if anybody that doesn't believe that, do 2 pork shoulders, do one with and one without. And that this I do a lot of this. I do a lot of side by sides, and I'm going to tell you just a
Mm-hmm.
little extra sprinkle. There's been a lot of talk lately of how much stuff comes off during the cooking
Yeah.
process. So like you grill a
Yeah.
steak and you season it, and you're searing it and all that, and maybe just simple little salt, pepper, garlic, but a lot of that comes off during. And I'll just give a little dusting towards the end, and here you go. Here's a little extra, you know, flavor that you're losing to the scraping of the grill grate. When you pick it up with the tongs and you drag it across the grill grates, it's gonna scrape it all off.
It
So
knocks off.
so I'm doing a little dusting at the end, but for the most part, brines, marinades, that kind of stuff ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
injecting ahead of time. Big fan of all those, and then leaving it go. I'm going to tell you this: what has saved dropped my stress level immeasurably is getting a Cambro,
Yeah.
because I can cook this stuff, and I used to always be like, all right, I need to have this done by 6 o'clock. And my family is all like, oh, it's 6:45 and whatever's not done yet, and they're pissed off, and then I got a Cambro, and it's not even the real high-end restaurant ones. It's it was 100, maybe $120, and I could put my turkey in there on Thanksgiving and 3 hours out. So I get, like, I'd be stressed. Okay, we're having people here at 4, and I want this ready, and it's got to be run done. And if I'm not, I don't stress anymore. And I get up, put my turkey on, go lay my jammies, and watch the Macy's Day Parade, and pull it off 2 hours ahead of time. And people walk in and are like, "Hey, is the turkey ready?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's been done for 2 hours." And they're like, "What? Really? Like, it's gonna be cold, right?" I'm like, "Nope. When I pull that foil off, it's gonna steam my eyebrows off." I mean,
Yep.
it's great. I'm I am a big believer in, and it doesn't have to be a camera. It could be an empty cooler. It could be the microwave,
I do
just
the cooler.
right.
Mm-hmm. And it
So
works great. It's perfect.
I I just cleaning up my garage and found during COVID we had milk delivered, so we didn't have to go to the grocery store as often, right?
Mhm.
And they had this crazy cooler that the milk came in, and I just realized it is exactly that like the Cambro that I paid $120 for. And I'm like, this is basically a second Cambro. So I just found a second Cambro today, which means that because Dad and I share it, at 120 bucks, I don't want to buy two because they're kind of
Right.
big. So it just kind of goes between our houses. And so now I'm like, dude, we got one for each of us now. Score.
So I mean, that's the truth. That's another one of those truths about barbecue. You're going to see stuff used to make barbecue that doesn't make any sense, but makes perfect sense all at the same time because it fits the mold. It fits whatever it is. I've seen old filing cabinets turned into smokers.
Right,
Like
right.
it's just about the fire, the temperature, the way you control the oxygen flow. There's so many cool elements to it, and that's what really kind of separates barbecue. Which again, June 14th and 15th in Columbia, South Carolina at Segra Park, we're going to hold the first ever Southeastern BBQ Showdown with the legendary band Alabama, with 20 barbecue teams, with celebrities, with fans. And you think of an event like that and you think about, man, a team from Japan's coming. I get excited because it's like, I wonder what they're going to do differently.
Yeah,
Because
I can't wait to see that.
they're going to have some ingredients that they use in Japan that we don't necessarily use here, because we
Right.
saw that a lot at the World Food Championships with the Japanese burger team that came over. They use a lot of different ingredients that are not anything here we think about, but things like, and I'm hearing this more and more from international teams, burgers and barbecue are kind of transcending any kind of country line.
Mm,
They are
love it.
literally everywhere now.
I love it. That when you said that, I was like, I really want to go find them, maybe find them ahead of time and get some footage to see what that is, because that is, I have a feeling that's going to be kind of a attention getter on social media. You know what I mean? Like people are going to see that and go, "What is that? Let's talk about this." And that's like, that's it. I like the engagement. I like the people just let's talk about what's going on here. And I do this all the time. I'll post something that somebody else cooked and be like, I don't know what's going on here. Can somebody explain this to me? Because I want some, guidance on what the theory is behind this and how to do it. Because I want to be able to repeat that or not repeat that if it's a mistake. So
It's going to be crazy.
I can't wait. I mean, we just had a team from England win the American Royal a few years ago. I mean,
Yep.
I don't really think of the British as, barbecue paragons, but that happened. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens.
And that's what you're going to get when you come down to the event. So if you haven't already, follow the Southeastern BBQ Showdown on both Instagram and Facebook. And then the website is southeasternbarbecueshowdown.com. There are some tickets still available. I do anticipate them not being available much longer. So make sure you get in and get your tickets. If you're a barbecue team and you say, I want to be part of that field, we may have a spot available for you. So reach out to us. You can even email me at mark@markconwaymedia.com. I'll get you a packet over and we'll try to get you in, because I think this field, knowing some of the people that are coming, it's a very diverse field from a lot of different areas and places, a lot of different backgrounds. And that's what you're going to see now and I think it's the movement in barbecue. You're going to see more people coming into the barbecue world that maybe are in other culinary worlds, but then you're going to see people from other countries get involved. Where can everybody follow you on social media?
Instagram is Grillin' Fools, Facebook Grillin' Fools, Twitter X, whatever is Grillin' Fool. I don't know. I never changed that to the plural, and I don't know. And then my website is grillinfools.com. Getting step by step, picture by picture, foolproof grilling instructions. That's kind of that's how it all started. That's kind of my passion project. I think there's a new recipe on there pretty much every week, and there's a newsletter I can tell you like, hey, the new stuff's coming out, but that's it. I mean, and I just share, whatever stuff that I'm cooking, and then weird stuff I see out. Not necessarily weird, but just something I think like, oh, that looks amazing or delicious or or weird, and I'm like, let's share this and see what it looks like, and let's get some conversation going. And that's it. Just get some dialogue.
I mean, simply put, 800,000 plus people can't be wrong, because they're following and they're active and they love what you're doing, and so do we. So you're going to get to see the Grilling Fools live and in action. Southeastern
Right.
BBQ Showdown. Guys, keep watching the Behind the Plate video series on YouTube on Wednesdays. And until then, we'll see you June 14th and 15th, Southeastern BBQ Showdown. See you soon.